All right, YouTube. This is Second Bullet. Thought I'll make a quick video today about Velcrum. Velcrum, is it Velcrum? Rajan. Season 4 boss, big bag boss battle of Season 4, Skull and Bones. I guess I'll go over some of the things I think is missing out of the boss battle, why it's broken, and some of the tips and tricks that I do to get through the boss fight. Let's go. It starts in 4 minutes. So let me go over some of the things I think is missing out of this boss fight. Why it's so frustrating and why it's broken. One of the main reasons what I think this boss fight and this season in general is missing is archives. The archives, it gives brief descriptions of all the lore and stuff that you picked up on the islands. But what kills me about this is that this would be the perfect place to put each season boss lore in a single book, give it its own section, so I can come back a year later to see what was the deal with Lepes or any other seasonal boss. But it's scattered amongst these, like right here, it's scattered amongst all these books and shit. And I can't tell you what, I have to open up each individual one and read, but this gives me no real information. This was attached to some missions long ago, whatever. And one of my gripes is that out of all the lore and archives that they gave you that pertains to season 4 and the boss, none of it gives you clues on anything pertaining to the boss battle, right? I think some games they do that in a clever way. If you start looking up the lore and going out your way and going the extra mile to figure out what's this guy's all about, it'll typically give you breadcrumbs on what this guy's weakness is and why is he doing the thing. It'll tell you why he's doing this. Is a story about revenge, but when you talk about game mechanics and things that he's doing during a boss battle, none of that is in. They don't give you any description of what he's doing during that boss battle. So that's one of my gripes. So I don't know. Okay, another one. The tutorials. Let's see. The tutorials about status elements, status effects, status elements. Enemies under combat. Yeah, status effects, enemy status. They don't update this. It's been updated since Stormstruck, I guess. No, it's been updated since Puncture. But that's it. Vulnerable. I don't know what the picture is of vulnerable. I think it's the skull, the red skull. It's not here. The pest toxic. It's not here. There's no description on what that toxic does to you. This would be the perfect place to update it, right? So you know what you're getting into. I get it. You don't want to, I guess, spoil anybody who first joined the season and you haven't had access to fight the boss yet. So you don't want to spoil what the boss status effects is. But once you get hit by a status effect, it should be in here. But it's not. So, but from my experience, Tainted, or I don't know what it's called. Is it called Tainted or Toxic? Anyway, when you're under his status effect, the negative status effect, It slowly but surely drains your stamina and your health. And each wave he hits you with that negative status effect increases how much stamina and HP is depleted. So that's his main big bad attack. And there's a couple of the ways to defend against that, which let's see if I can get in there. I'll show you. All right, we ready. Let's go. We go with my shit. Level 16, you can do this boss battle in any ship of your choice. It's not that hard, right? As long as you're not fucking loaded out with nothing but repair weapons. It's not that hard if you have a level 13 ship. My ship, show you the what I use for defense. I'm a better seller. All right. It's not the most optimal ship for this, but I like to use it. Pierce damage. Pierce damage is this seasonal boss's weakness. Since this is a ramming ship, I got the only pierce damaging gimme cannons in the game. All right, defense. Blight Keeper. Blight Keeper is the artillery weapon that shoots out basically a shield that protects you from his tainted status effect. All right, it's got a 20-second cooldown, and it's basically built for this fight. Float collars. Float collars extends the life of your Bowies. Increase the max health of Bowies by 100%. Increase the deployment duration of Bowies by 50%. So combining that with the Blight Keeper is my main form of defense in this fight. Well, not the main form. The main form of defense, this is my secondary defense. The main form of defense would be the restoration kits. All right. Starting off this fight, get loaded up on, this is your first time doing this fight, make sure you stay loaded up on these restoration kits. Probably don't even need that much. All right. So we got our pierce weapons, our pierce weapons. Level 3 piercing. And our defense artillery. Auxiliary artillery. Let's go. Now, let's start the boss fight. Start talking about things that they don't tell you. This boss has several phases. I can't tell you exactly how many phases. The only ones that are really clear that stand out to me is the first and second phase. And you can tell easily which phase you're in, either the first or second phase, depending on the color of the sky, and there's other tells you'll see. Let's get through the first phase.
Another soul? The Great Shadow? Welcome.
There's slight differences between him and the level 17 version, but ultimately it's just increased damage output, increased HP, you know, basic buffs. Alright, this is a part of the battle. This is one of the attacks he does. So, those shields that he released, the purpose of those shields is to protect you, the player. You pop one of those shields, you know what, might as well do it before you destroy it. It releases a small shield to protect against his waves. His tainted waves, as you can see. Now, my issue with this is that sometimes it's not clear. It's not clear if you're in the bubble or not. It's not that hard to stay in a bubble with a small ship like the better, but with larger ships, it's hard to tell. For me, anyway. Alright, that was done with the first phase. He also puts a shield around himself, and unless you have a weapon, such as, I think there's a torpedo that came out this season. A torpedo and a ballista that has the ability to pierce through multiple enemies, can pierce through that shield. Right? Alright, so now we're in the second phase, and here's the tower. There is no lore presented in season 4 to tell me, well, in my experience, there's no lore to tell me what are the purpose of these towers, where these towers come from. Only thing I know is that maybe Indian mythology, I don't know. But like the status effect, the status effect on these towers, I have no idea what it means. It's a shield, a red shield with the wonder in it. I don't know what that means. I do know that with time, see, these shields, why is it doing that? I'm not trying to look at it. They develop rings, right? I guess those rings are timers. He came in and he left. Whatever. But it doesn't really indicate anything. I thought that meant like once you get to level 3, then the towers will disappear and give him shields. But that's not the case. Not the case at all. So I don't know. There is no real secrets to the tower. You can shoot them. For some reason, as soon as they get to half health, they destroy themselves, and then they pull his shields anyway. So I thought the secret to the tower was to destroy the towers before they develop these rings around them. But even with the full team, it's kind of impossible. See, look, it didn't even get to the rings. It didn't even get to 3 rings. This has 2 rings, and it dived under and it comes back up. I don't know what the purpose of that tower is. Now, this is another phase right here. This is the shield phase. Let's do it. 20 minutes. All right, we got 20 minutes. You can do that. Easy. During the shield phase, you can see that the bar over his health has just filled. He's pulsing right now. See, look, what the hell? It didn't show up. Look at that. This is a glitch. The damn light keeper just, it's not here. What the hell? Alright. Look. I think I'm in that bubble. Alright, so he's pulsing. So the pulsing is not consistent. I thought it was every time he pulsed 3 times, he's going to shoot the wave. But you'll see throughout this fight, he'll pulse once, he'll teleport, and then he'll shoot the wave sometimes. It's just not consistent. So I can't tell if that's a bug or if that's how it was intended to work. What else? The attacks aren't that difficult to deal with. So let's get rid of this shield.
Why cling to life? And there we go, die.
So while he's in the shield phase, his towers, I guess, do a different function. I guess you could say that it might be fueling his tainted waves. So he summons and then he unsummons the towers. Shooting the towers just fuels him, you know. And look, right there. There was no pulse. There was no pulse. It's inconsistent. So I thought the pulse was the tail before he does the tainted wave, but I was fucking sadly mistaken that this fight should make sense. What is that? I didn't even notice this shit. He shoots flares before Oh, I ran out of cannons. I just said I only had 200 cannons. God damn it. Cannonballs, whatever. How long do we got? Well, whatever. I could probably come back and destroy them. But this video wasn't even for that. It was for to try to get as much information about the towers and try to make sense of this shit. But now he's full shield, not doing this shit with no cannons. I mean, that'd be dope. What if I just ram him? Thank you. Status effect. $800 damage. Nope. Sorry, Spirit. We'll get you next time. All right. But there's another phase that's not clearly indicated. You know what? I'll go back. I'll go back. It shouldn't take that long. I guess you call it the third phase, where he stops refilling his shield and he just starts tossing towers at you. Now, the issue I got with that is that there's no clear tell that you're in this phase. Sometimes the shield bar isn't filled. Sometimes it is filled, but he'll just only tell you got that you're in that phase is when he's doing the actual attack, when the towers are flowing above him. I haven't ran out of cannonballs in a long time. When all the towers are flowing above him, and then he just starts chucking them at you. And there's no real defense to that other than moving the hell out the way. Or shit. Why not? Let's see if we can get the tower phase started. Sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. It's not really consistent. But it's helping to come back.
I am beyond the light.
Time to give Vikram a proper thrashing!
Send them to die.
I'm not gonna follow. What the hell?
This will be your end.
Yeah. See, I don't even think he pulls that time. It just fucking happens. A lot of inconsistencies, or maybe I'm just not seeing the cues or whatever. I'm too busy aiming down sights. Let's see.
How dare you! Might as well surrender, Jagu. Shadow Legion is here!
What the hell is that? I thought I got really fast, but
You cannot
yeah.
my right!
Alright, here's another phase when he starts to float and exposes his
The darkness!
might not make it. Those are inconsistent. And this shit is taking way too long. I'm barely concentrating on this. Again, I'm just trying to show off his moves. Damage. How much of that shield is taken down? Nothing compared to the Deruta though. It's probably gonna reappear with the damage.
How is this possible? Will be yours. Send them to die.
No, I didn't expect it that time. See, and this is what I'm talking about. I guess this is the third phase. His shield is healed, but you can see that I'm doing direct damage. So there's no clear tells. Look, that tower has 3 rings on it. I don't know what the fuck that means. So what does destroying the towers do at this phase? I have no idea. There's no clear tells. I can't tell if that's how the boss battle was designed and he still died, That's cheap. You shouldn't have killed him after he beat the boss, man. How the hell I get here? There's no real clear tells that this boss is functioning properly, or, you know, is it just bugged out? Right? I didn't get to show off the floating tower attacks, but that's usually when he starts doing the tower attacks. When he's in the third phase, his shield is all the way filled, and the towers sink and begin floating over him, and he'll start chucking them at you. Best way to dodge those attacks is either to just charge directly at them and you get lucky, or to go, you know, perpendicular to the direction that the towers are coming at you. But yeah, like the what makes this boss battle difficult isn't difficulty. It's that you don't know whether it's bugging out. It's not consistent. The tells aren't consistent. You can't tell if it's bugging out, if it's supposed to do that, or is it just glitching out. You know, because I thought the pulsing was the tell that he's about to do the tainted wave, and you can see sometimes he'll pulse 3, 4, 5 times before he do the tainted wave. Sometimes he'll pulse one time and do the tainted wave. Sometimes there's no pulse and there's just a tainted wave. It's just a lot going on, and there's no real clear tells, and it's worse with the level 17 boss fight, because he hits harder, and it's more often and less consistent. It's more often, but the tells are less consistent. So the pulsing may pulse, and you'll get hit with it anyway. But yeah, biggest gripe with that is you can't really tell what phase he's in and what he's doing or what he's supposed to do. I don't know why you do that, dude.
Other pirates will look to you now. May fair winds carry you higher than ever.
That's all I got.